Hello everyone. Here we are going to learn about mitochondria. The mitochondrion is popularly nicknamed the powerhouse of the cell. It is an organelle found in the cells of most eukaryotes, such as animals, plants and fungi. Mitochondria have a double membrane structure and use aerobic respiration to generate adenosine triphosphate, ATP, which is used throughout the cell as a source of chemical energy. They were discovered by Albert von Kolliker in 1857 in the voluntary muscles of insects. The term mitochondrion was coined by Carl Bender in 1898. Mitochondria may have a number of different shapes. A mitochondrion contains outer and inner membranes composed of phospholipid bilayers and proteins. The two membranes have different properties. Because of this double-membraned organization, there are 5 distinct parts to a mitochondrion. The outer mitochondrial membrane. The intermembrane space, the space between the outer and inner membranes. The inner mitochondrial membrane. The cristae space formed by infoldings of the inner membrane, and the matrix space within the inner membrane, which is a fluid. Mitochondria have folding to increase surface area, which in turn increases ATP, adenosine triphosphate production. Mitochondria stripped of their outer membrane are called mitoplasts. The outer mitochondrial membrane, which encloses the entire organelle, is 60 to 75 angstroms thick. It has a protein to phospholipid ratio similar to that of the cell membrane, about 1:1 by weight. It contains large numbers of integral membrane proteins called porins. The outer membrane also contains enzymes involved in such diverse activities as the elongation of fatty acids, oxidation of epinephrine, and the degradation of tryptophan. The inner mitochondrial membrane contains proteins with 3 types of functions, 18. Those that perform the electron transport chain redox reactions. ATP synthase, which generates ATP in the matrix. Specific transport proteins that regulate metabolite passage into and out of the mitochondrial matrix. It contains more than 151 different polypeptides, and has a very high protein to phospholipid ratio, more than 3:1 by weight, which is about 1 protein for 15 phospholipids. The inner membrane is home to around 1/5 of the total protein in a mitochondrion. Additionally, the inner membrane is rich in an unusual phospholipid, cardiolipin. The mitochondrial intermembrane space is the space between the outer membrane and the inner membrane. It is also known as perimitochondrial space. Because the outer membrane is freely permeable to small molecules, the concentrations of small molecules, such as ions and sugars, in the intermembrane space is the same as in the cytosol. Now let's see the function of mitochondria. The most prominent roles of mitochondria are to produce the energy currency of the cell, ATP, i.e., phosphorylation of ADP through respiration, and to regulate cellular metabolism. The central set of reactions involved in ATP production are collectively known as the citric acid cycle, or the Krebs cycle, and oxidative phosphorylation. However, the mitochondrion has many other functions in addition to the production of ATP. Mitochondria play a central role in many other metabolic tasks, such as signaling through mitochondrial reactive oxygen species, regulation of the membrane potential, apoptosis programmed cell death, calcium signaling including calcium-evoked apoptosis, regulation of cellular metabolism. Mitochondria, or related structures, are found in all eukaryotes except the oxymonid monosaccharinoids. Although commonly depicted as bean-like structures, they form a highly dynamic network in the majority of cells where they constantly undergo fission and fusion. The population of all the mitochondria of a given cell constitutes the chondriome. Mitochondria vary in number and location according to cell type. A single mitochondrion is often found in unicellular organisms, while human liver cells have about 1,000–2,000 mitochondria per cell, making up 1/5 of the cell volume. The mitochondria can be found nestled between myofibrils of muscle or wrapped around the sperm flagellum. Often, they form a complex 3D branching network inside the cell with the cytoskeleton. The association with the cytoskeleton determines mitochondrial shape, which can affect the function as well. Different structures of the mitochondrial network may afford the population a variety of physical, chemical, and signaling advantages or disadvantages. Mitochondria in cells are always distributed along microtubules, and the distribution of these organelles is also correlated with the endoplasmic reticulum. Mitochondria under microscope look like this. Thank you and keep learning.